Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tower of God New World. In today's video, we will be checking out the brand new SSR Plus character, Child Yuri. Now, I don't have this character, but we are basically going to check out her kit, and we're also going to test her out in Arena Simulation. But before I get started on the video, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here on the channel, I have a Discord server. So if you guys are interested in joining, I'll post a server link in the comment section down below so that you guys can join up. Anyways, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and hop right into the video. Alright, so Child Yuri, she is the newest Green Element SSR Plus Assassin character. So let's go ahead and check out her kit. So for her passive, Yuri leaps to the enemy with the highest attack at the start of the battle, dealing 620% of her attack as damage to the target and nearby enemies and knocking them down for 2 seconds. In addition, Yuri only targets the enemy with the highest attack in battle and becomes immune to command and provoke. She immediately creates a Field of Rose protection when provoked. When afflicted with an attack decrease debuff, Yuri becomes immune to the effect and her attack increases by 24% for 10 seconds, max 5 stacks. When afflicted with the swiftness decrease debuff, Yuri becomes immune to the effect and her swiftness increases by 16 for 10 seconds, max 5 stacks. So looking at Child Yuri's passive, I will say that her passive is absolutely amazing, but it is a double-edged sword because even though she's going to target the enemy with the highest attack, if she's not able to get rid of that enemy, she will get immediately one-shotted. So you want to make sure that Yuri's actually able to defeat the enemy with the highest attack, because if she doesn't, she's going to die immediately. So this is like a double-edged sword passive, but it's pretty solid, and this proves that the best set for Child Yuri is obviously going to be Ryana's set, because this passive allows her to one-shot. And I like how she's immune to provoke, so if the enemy is trying to provoke her, she'll become immune to that, which is really nice. And if the enemy tries to inflict an attack decrease debuff, she's going to further increase her attack, and the same applies to a swiftness decrease debuff as well. So her passive is actually pretty interesting. Now let's go ahead and move on to her first active skill, which is Rose Protection. So Yuri unleashes a spinning roundhouse kick to deal 620% of her attack as damage to nearby enemies. She then creates a Field of Rose protection for herself, lasting 20 seconds, max 3 stacks. Yuri recovers HP equal to 200% of her attack every second, and her lifesteal increases by 10% while Rose Protection is active. So Rose Protection, this is actually pretty good because the duration of this active skill is 20 seconds. The fact that it says max 3 stacks, I'm pretty sure she can only activate the Rose Protection 3 times. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what the max 3 stacks means. And if we look at her passive, the Rose Protection will basically allow her to be immune to provoke and command. So that's actually pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much what Rose Protection is. It allows her to be immune to provoke, and on top of that, she can deal some pretty good damage, and she can also recover HP as well. Now let's go ahead and move on to her solid punches. Yuri throws solid punches, dealing 200% of her attack as damage 3 times and jolting them. If the target does not die from the attack, Yuri deals 240% of her attack as damage 3 more times and jolts them. If the target does not die from the attack, Yuri deals 320% of her attack as damage 4 times and jolts them. The last hit knocks back the target for 2 seconds. So looking at this active skill, it seems like this active skill is just pure damage. If the enemy doesn't die after she activates solid punches, she's going to keep on punching over and over and over again until the enemy dies. So the max amount of times she can throw her punches is, it seems like in total, she's going to throw her punches 3 times, and then after that, she's going to do it 3 more, and then she's going to do it 4 more times. So she's basically going to activate this like 10 times in total. She's going to throw a series of punches 10 times in total, and if the enemy still doesn't die, then that's pretty much it. So solid punches is actually pretty dope, the fact that it can also knock back the enemy. Now let's go ahead and check out her special move. So for Yuri's special move, Yuri provokes nearby enemies for 5 seconds, charges up, then unleashes a solid punch, dealing 240% of her attack as damage as critical hit damage 8 times to enemies in range and jolting them. The last hit knocks back the target for 2 seconds. In addition, the attack coefficient of each hit increases by 50% of Yuri's damage taken while charging up. The attack coefficient increase is limited to 300% of Yuri's attack. Yuri becomes immune to status effects and her HP does not drop below 1 while using this skill. So this special move is actually kind of crazy because the fact it says right here on the bottom that she becomes immune to status effects and her HP does not drop below 1. So while she's activating integrity, she can't die. She's not going to die while activating this, which is really good because she's going to provoke nearby enemies for 5 seconds. So once she activates her special move, she's going to provoke enemies and enemies are going to try to attack her for 5 seconds. So I feel like the immunity, like the fact that she can stay alive like while she's activating this special move is actually pretty good, because I'm not gonna lie, if they didn't have this in the bottom, this would have been a bad special move because she would just die instantly because she provoked all the enemies. She basically taunted all of them and they're all just gonna kill her. So the attack coefficient increase, everything about this special move is actually pretty solid. So that's pretty much Child Yuri's kit. Now let's go ahead and take a look at her exclusive equipment. So for her exclusive equipment for level 1, the attack coefficient of each integrity hit increases by 20%. The attack coefficient of each integrity hit increases by an additional 20%. And then for level 3, the upper limit of integrity's additional damage increases by 200%. And then for level 4, integrity always lands. So it seems like for level 4, you can basically get a guarantee, like you can actually land this attack, her special move, because it says that the integrity, her special move is always going to land. And the attack coefficient increase is actually pretty solid, and that makes her a really strong DPS overall, because attack coefficient increase is really good. So that's actually pretty nice. So that's pretty much her exclusive equipment. I will say that the level 4 is kind of good, the fact that she can always land her special move. Now let's go on and talk about ignition weapon. So best ignition weapon for this character is obviously going to be the Rihanna set. Rihanna set is going to be the best set for her because it's going to allow her to one shot. Like the fact that her passive is going to target the enemy with the highest attack, you want to put Rihanna set on her because she's going to immediately get rid of that enemy, and then she's going to receive that Rihanna 4-piece set effect, which is going to allow her to do some more damage as well. So you really want to get the Rihanna set, put that on her. And I'll say another good thing about her passive is the fact that it's like an AoE one shot, because it says she deals 620% of her attack as damage to the target and nearby enemies. So it's not only just one target, it's going to be other targets as well. It's going to be AoE. So she has an AoE one shot, which is kind of crazy. So that's pretty obviously going to be the best set for her. And when we talk about stats, best stats for her is going to be attack percentage, because I think like she pretty much scales with attack percentage. And you want to get as much crit damage as much as possible on her. You want to get physical pierce because she is a physical damage type unit. You want to get some magic and physical resistance so that she can survive. And lifesteal, since she gets lifesteal, then you don't have to really worry about lifesteal. You can put Bergamot on her, but I feel like Rihanna is the best way to go. And you also want to focus on, I mean, for crit rate isn't a bad stat to focus on, but you want to get as much accuracy as much as possible so that she can actually land her attacks. And you want to get some evasion because she is going to provoke the enemies, so you want her to actually stay alive when she provokes them. So those are like the top stats you want to focus on: attack, crit damage increase, physical pierce, magic and physical resistance, accuracy and evasion, and of course swiftness as well. So those are like the top things you should worry about when you are leveling her up. And let's go ahead and take a look at her skills. So we're gonna go ahead and click preview skill. Now I don't really do this a lot, but this is just to really show you guys what her attacks look like. So this is Rose Protection, right? This is what her Rose Protection looks like. And this is the solid punches. And then she's going to do her ultimate move, her special move. So here it is. Gonna do that. She's gonna charge up, and then there it is. As you guys can see, that was a lot of attack, right? That was like a lot of damage right there. So that is pretty much Child Yuri and how her gameplay looks like. So let's go ahead and talk about teams. So even though I don't have this character, we're gonna go to arena simulation and we're going to fix up a team for her. All right, so this is a team comp that I ended up forming for Child Yuri. Now, the reason why I have Escanor in this team comp is because he can proc provocation. He can't do it as much as Karaka, but he can proc provocation sometimes, which is going to help out Child Yuri, and he's going to reduce the enemy's movement speed. And Lozelle is there to pretty much increase Child Yuri's attack because Lozelle's passive can basically increase green element allies attack, and Yeon is there to reduce the enemy's green element resistance, and Data Zahard is there to simply be Data Zahard. So we're going to see how she performs with no copies. And just to keep you guys in mind, since this is arena simulation, we can't equip her ignition weapon, so I wouldn't take everything at face value because we don't even have her fully built. This is just, her raw potential, and that's it. So let's click quick result, and the enemy team comp is of course going to be the blue element team because they're like the second best team in the game. And if she doesn't perform well against, the second best team comp in the game, then I don't know. So let's click quick result and let's see how well she performs with no copies. Okay, so she died immediately, and the reason why she's dying immediately, of course, is because of her passive, and that's why I said her passive is a double-edged sword. She's going to target the enemy with the highest attack, so she is going for Elizabeth, and I'm pretty sure Elizabeth is just immediately one-shotting her. So that's like the main reason why she's dying immediately. So she died pretty fast right there. So let's go ahead and increase her limit break tier to 3 green stars. We're going to take it up one by one to see how many copies you need on her in order for her to survive. So 3 green stars, she still died. But can we win this fight though? Okay, so we won the fight. She was able to do more damage right there. She did 103 billion damage. She took a lot of damage, which means that she got absolutely destroyed. So that is 3 green stars. Now let's go ahead and take that up to 3 blue stars. I'm going to take it up 3 blue stars. There it is. So let's see how she performs here. Okay, so she died there too. And we pretty much lost. So she did less damage this time, but that's not looking too bad. So let's go ahead and increase it again to 3 purple stars. All right, let's click quick result. Can she survive this time? Okay, so she still died. Seems like we're gonna have to increase her limit break tier a lot more. So three purple stars. She still died. Let's increase it to 3 red stars. Let's see what happens here. Quick result. Okay, so it seems like with 3 red stars, she can actually survive. So I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna require a lot of investment. But like I said, we don't have her ignition weapon. So if we had Rihanna said, maybe her performance would have been a lot better. But this is, her raw potential and her raw performance. So it seems like 3 red stars is going to be the minimum for Child Yuri in order for her to actually stay alive and do insane damage. Anything above that, she is going to completely obliterate the enemy team. As you guys can see, 476 billion damage. That's crazy. So she is clearly a good character. It's just that she is going to require some investment in order for her to actually stay alive. When it comes to damage, I feel like when it comes to damage, you don't have to really worry about that because she can deal good damage. It's just her survivability. In order for her to actually stay alive, you need to have copies on her in order for her to stay alive. So we're going to take it up to 3 orange stars, and we're going to see how her performance is with 3 orange stars. And then we're going to take it up to rainbow, and we'll see her stats from there. So this is 4 orange stars. All right, so 375 billion damage. So like I said, once you reach 3 red stars and you go above that, she can basically stay alive. We're going to take it to max rainbow stars, and let's see how she performs here. And look at that, she is barely taking damage. So 538 billion damage. So she is a unit where she is going to require some investment in order for it to be good, which kind of sucks, but 3 red stars is clearly the minimum. That is the minimum copies you need on her in order for her to actually stay alive and do some insane damage. So let's go ahead and try another enemy team comp for Child Yuri to go up against. All right, so now we're going to try Child Yuri against Purple Element team comp. Now this is literally the best team comp in the game. So if she can actually perform quite well against this team, then that's gonna be pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and decrease her limit break tier to 3 red stars because that's like the minimum. So let's see how she performs against this team. So I'm going to click quick result here and let's see what she can do here. So yikes, it looks like she died right off the bat and she only did 44 million damage. So we're going to increase her to max rainbow stars and let's see if that actually made a difference. So quick result, let's see what happens here. Oh, she died immediately. So I will say that against purple element team comp, she gets completely annihilated, and the reason why is because she basically targets Joaquin and Joaquin just dusts her. Like, he just completely destroys her. So I'm going to go ahead and click replay and actually show you guys what I mean. Like, she's going to target the highest attack unit, and if she's not able to completely like eliminate them, then she will die. So as you guys can see, she went straight towards Joaquin and she died. So that is like one of the biggest problems with Child Yuri, is that her passive is a double-edged sword. Sometimes she is going to die immediately if she's not able to actually get rid of the enemy with the highest attack. So I'll say for purple element team comp, if you are trying to figure out a team to counter Child Yuri, purple element team comp is actually pretty good against her because Joaquin just completely destroys her. Since she's going to target the highest attack unit, Joaquin just obliterates her. So you really have to be careful with her passive. Even though it targets the enemy with the highest attack, you have to worry about her survivability because she might get completely one-shotted depending on how good her survivability is. So evasion is going to be a really important stat on her because you want her to avoid enemy attacks so that she won't get one tapped. So that's pretty much Child Yuri overall. I feel like this character, she has a lot of potential, and I definitely feel like she is a great DPS unit. Like, so far there are quite a lot of one-shot units in the game. We have Kaseya, Vicente, Child Yuri, Michael, Missing. We have a lot of one-shot units in the game, but I still feel like Kaseya is still the best one-shot unit in the game because she can just like eliminate 2 enemies at once, which is kind of crazy. So I'll say Child Yuri. Looking at Child Yuri's performance, she is definitely the second best one-shot unit in the game. The only thing that's holding her back is the fact that her passive is a double-edged sword and she can sometimes get one tapped when she goes against the enemy who has the highest attack. So it's pretty much Child Yuri. And if you guys are wondering if Lero works well with her, Lero, he is not a bad option because Lero, he can basically buff basic attack, and Child Yuri, since I don't think she really does basic attacks. Like, when we look at her kit, she doesn't really do basic attacks. So um I wouldn't necessarily say that Lero is a good option for her. But if you feel like his special move can target Child Yuri because of the additional attack and defense, then go for it. But Lero, I wouldn't say he's a bad option, but his kit wouldn't really benefit Child Yuri that much because she is not a magic damage type unit. She is a physical damage type, and Lero basically buffs magic pierce, so he won't really benefit her that much. But I'll say the only thing she can gain from Lero is his special move. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is for Child Yuri. Now let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons for Child Yuri. So I'm gonna go ahead, go back to the lobby right here. So if we come over here, look at Child Yuri, let's talk about the pros and cons. So pros, I will say for pros, she is a great one-shot unit. She can basically she's like one of the first units in the game who has an AoE one-shot, which is really nice. And number 2 is she can do some pretty insane damage. Sometimes she can actually solo and she can just completely obliterate the enemy team. The fact that she has provoking her kit is kind of a double-edged sword, but she can basically heal herself and she can't go below 1 HP, which is really nice. So I will say that in terms of survivability, if she's able to eliminate the enemy with the highest attack, after that she can basically stay alive the entire fight because of her special move and her HP recovery, which is really nice overall. And I'm pretty sure she also has that lifesteal, and she also has the lifesteal increase as well. So yeah, pros: great damage dealing unit, great one-shot unit. She can basically solo sometimes, and she also, her HP can't go below 1 HP. Like she can't go, like when she casts the integrity special move, she can't go below 1 HP. So those are pretty much the pros when it comes to Child Yuri. Now when we look at the cons, now the cons is of course her passive. Her passive is going to target the enemy with the highest attack, so chances are she can get one-shotted, which kind of sucks. Number two, she requires uh, a decent amount of investment. You need like 3 red stars minimum in order for her to actually stay alive. And I'll say the third con is she doesn't really perform well against purple element team comp, but that's not bad because I mean there are weaknesses and strengths to every character. So that's one of her greatest weaknesses is purple element team comp. So those are like the 3 greatest cons when it comes to Child Yuri. She just requires a lot of investment. She targets the enemy with the highest attack, and her weakness is purple element team comp. But I'll say overall this is a pretty solid character, and if you are a new player, if you are a brand new player to Top God New World, she's going to be an absolute menace at the early phase of the game. She can just solo everything at the early phase, but once you reach the late game, you'll notice her flaws and what she's struggling on. So I'll say early phase, she is a complete monster, and in the late phase, you need at least 3 red stars in order for her to actually keep up with the meta, and for her to actually stay alive. So should you guys go for this character? If you are planning on going for Child Yuri, then she is a pretty good character. So I would definitely recommend you guys to put her on your wish list if you're trying to look for a new SSR plus assassin unit. She is really good. She's a really solid unit, but in terms of survivability, she can be squishy because of her passive, so you have to be careful with that. Other than that, yes, I do feel like if you have Child Yuri, she is worth the investment overall. Anyways, I'll be ending the video at that. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. And put your thoughts down below in the comment section what you guys think overall. And if you guys have any other team comps with Child Yuri, please share them in the comment section down below. But anyways, I hope you all have a good one, and I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.